turns out what the ancients were trying to tell us is that Earth is actually made up of two planets, one 6,000 years old and the other 4.5 billion years old. And these two Earths are of different energy states. One is a very high energy state, one a low energy state. In the scriptures, they're called a spirit Earth and a temporal Earth. One day, this day, right now, the 21st century, they would come apart.
Now, what do you mean come apart? Physically?
Yes, physically, the higher vibrational Earth would become dissident with the lower vibrational Earth, and they would separate, just like the human spirit separates from the human body. Earth is about ready to either go through birth or go through death.
If you haven't already, make sure you download the Rumble app. It's free, simple to use, and the best way to stay connected, the content you want. Once you got it, search for my channel, hit follow. That way you get a notification every time we go live. No missing shows, no extra steps. You can grab it right now. Use the link in the description or the pinned live chat. Download it to your phone and you're ready to go. And if you prefer watching on the big screen, Rumble is available in all major streaming devices and smart TVs. Just search for Rumble, follow the channel, and be part of the action.
The new Earth, the changing of the vibrations and the frequencies as we move into the new Earth. We're going to leave the old Earth behind. There's going to be two Earths. Because he talks about the vibrations and the frequencies of the Earth shifting and moving, and we will be going into a whole new Earth. But there's going to be two Earths.
I'm gonna break this down real simple. Earth is like a radio station, so depending on the frequency that you tuned into is going to determine the life that you experience. Run that back if you need to. What we witnessing right now is called the Great Split or the Great Separation. I've heard about this years ago, but it never actually made sense to me. I'm here to make sense of it now for y'all. But we have now shifted into what we know as two Earths. I'm not talking about physically, I'm talking about vibrationally. So I'm gonna say this one more time. You see what your vibration allows you to see. We talked about this on the video when I discussed the LA fires and how some people experienced the fires and some people didn't. We've had a lot of people in the comments trying to go back and forth with one another like nobody is wrong, because we are witnessing the great split, the great separation. So this is about perception through vibration. This is where the planetary alignments come in. So as I'm sitting here preparing to do this video, I'm talking to V on the phone. I interrupted her mid-sentence. I said, I just had a major download. Now let me share it with y'all. Cosmos is like a mirror reflecting our inner world, like our chakras, our energy systems, and our levels of awareness. Planets shift and align in different ways. It's like a cosmic reset button. What happens is it amplifies whatever frequency you already living on. So if you've been doing the work such as healing yourself, clearing karma, healing wounds, breaking cycles, that means you aligning with the higher earth. If not, you're gonna stay on that same density and you're gonna be stuck in the loops of ego, fear, and disconnection. So the split is the great separation. All is being revealed. The fake, the manipulation, liars, the cheater, the scammers. So anything low vibrational is literally crumbling right now. Relationships, jobs, belief systems, karmic cycles, those are all coming to an end. Kind of like people woke up in droves. They starting to realize that they not in alignment. They not walking in their purpose. They've been lied to their whole life. The definition of success that we were taught is so far off. They can no longer hold on to what doesn't align with their soul's truth. Then you got the others. They doubling down on their old ways. They ain't trying to change shit, and that's okay. This is why we seeing so much division right now. It's like we living in two worlds at one time. That's exactly what the great split or separation is going to feel like. Depending on where your awareness is at, it's going to determine which world you land in. Let me just tell y'all this here. See all these talks about these cute winter boots, combat boots, all kind of damn boots. None of that shit got nothing to do with me. Nothing that man is signing away on right now has anything to do with me. You know why? Because I know in my heart when they said all the planets were going to align in some rare celestial event, that just meant that our energy levels were rising, our chakras were aligned, aligning? Because y'all remember my theory. The planets are just the chakras, or our energy centers. Now, if I'm the person in charge, pulling the string, or shall I say the entity, and I know that the conscious level of the collective is rising, their chakras are aligning, aka the planet. You know, I gotta pull everything out of the toolbox so I can knock them out of alignment. What better way than that than to put them against one another once again? So who even came up with this winter boot shit? It came out of nowhere. I question everything. Y'all remember Saturn is about lessons and karma, which is the root chakra. Your root chakra is your foundation. So when Saturn is doing this thing, you might feel like you being tested. You might not feel too safe. You might not feel too secure. But on the other hand, Neptune connects to intuition and dream, which mirrors the third eye chakra. And Neptune reveals the truth and the illusion. Planets are cosmic guides to our internal energy. You can clearly see how they influence the shifts in consciousness. I'm talking about individually and collectively. One thing you gotta realize is the split is a choice. It's not happening to you. It's definitely happening for you, even if you can't see it right now. Now that I look back, everybody that was separated from me over the past few years, keeping me from my elevation. Some kind of way they was keeping me stagnant. At the time, I was so distraught. Now that I took a step back and reflected, see the bigger picture. Choice is not about good versus bad. It's about awareness versus ignorance, love versus fear, higher self versus ego. With that being said, the great separation is here. What frequency you tuning into? If you scared, you in fear, you angry, you being evil, malicious, just straight ugly, inside and out. How they say a whole new world. It's exactly where you gonna be, stuck in that loop. Just constantly remind yourself, the choice is always yours. Always has been. You either choose to participate in the shit or you don't. It's just as simple as that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Peace, love, and light, and gratitude.
Grand rising and grand rising, everybody. Welcome to We Are VishusTv Raw Business Network, and I'm Dice Game. We give it to you real raw and unedited. I'm talking about this one today, this topic today. 2026 is the major year. It's a big year, and I just want people to listen to me right now. I ain't gonna be on long. I'm gonna give me 5 minutes to explain myself about 2026. 2026 is the time of 3D shifting into 5D. It's two Earths. We already been merging. It's already been merging. You know what I'm saying? Two Earths is splitting apart. And one is 5D and the other one is 3D. And this is what I want to tell people, that if you ain't high vibrational, if you ain't accepting, you know, this time to basically, you know, be high vibrational, love, unity, coming together. You know what I'm saying? This is not nothing about race. This is all about spiritual. This is all about who is vibrating on a high state of consciousness. And the earth been splitting. A lot of people gonna be witnessing this split, because it already been shown in the skies and shit. They just been covering it. And one video, I gotta go find it. That it was a line in the sky, and people were looking at it. It was a black line in the sky. They was like, "What is going on with this?" You know, it looked weird and stuff. I'm telling you, that's the split from 3D to 5D. This planet is going into a major shift. A lot of extraterrestrials is sitting back and they analyzing, they watching. They don't want to miss this because it's never happened in our history. They haven't seen it. You know, you got fucking creatures and other, you know what I'm saying, species coming in from the hollow earth, you know, want to witness this shift, this split of 3D and 5D. See, we've been telling y'all this for so long. Now we going into it now, 2026. That's why I said everything that you used to believe in, you gotta strap that out. If you still not, you know, privileged to this information, you don't feel it, you don't see it, you know what I'm saying, your frequency ain't, you know, rising up. I'm just saying, this is all coming into 2026. So people, get ready, because a lot of stuff, you know, you thought you never thought you was going to witness. It's gonna be exposed, and you're gonna see it right there and live in color. We told you, we've been telling y'all this for so long. You know what I mean? I see every bit of it, you know, but we on another, us high vibrational people, we on a different timeline, and I'm gonna explain that in just 3 minutes about the timeline, because a lot of people is on different timelines, and if you are having a chaotic time, and if a lot of secrets is coming out, your life is in shambles and stuff like that, you on a different timeline than me. Just that, because I told you this is splitting 3D to 5D. If your life is in chaos and in shambles, you know what I'm saying, you took that shot, you took that COVID vaccine shot, everything is crashing out for you, you on that 3D timeline. If you having a smooth time and you sailing out, you know what I'm saying, you seeing the stuff that's happening, but you know what I'm saying, you having a smooth time, you know what I'm saying, everything is lovely in your life. And I mean, it don't have to be like you making a lot of money or you driving a big car. I'm talking about you got that inner peace. You have that inner peace. You don't have no worries, no fears, and you see that, you know, you're not bothered about the fear and stuff like that. You might be on that 5D timeline. See, people don't explain that shit to you like I'm explaining to you, but that's what it is. So when you figuring out like a lot of stuff is bad in your life and you going through so much problems, you on that 3D timeline. And like we told you, you need to start, being aware, start, getting this information, start understanding what's going on. Because that just the information, just knowing the information, it raises your frequency. Just knowing raise your frequency. Doing your shadow work raise your frequency. Working out the heart space raise your frequency. We've been telling y'all all this for so long, and I'm saying it once again. We on the 3D and 5D timeline. So, like I said, if you don't straighten up right now, to raise your vibration, raise your frequency up, start doing your shadow work, you're gonna stay on that 3D timeline. And you know what's in that 3D timeline? War, famines, chaotic. Anunnaki gonna come back. So do your research on the Anunnaki. I'm telling you, it's a lot of stuff in play right now. So please, I want to see a lot of people on that 5D timeline, because we are merging, we are shifting, and the extraterrestrials is here. They've been here. They watching, they observing, and we gonna know who they are in 2026. I love y'all and I'm out.